Her voice came through the speakerphone like chilled steel. "I don't mean this cruelly," she said. "You're just not sophisticated enough for him." The word him landed first. Then not enough. We were in the university cafe, all glass and polished concrete, where people whispered their brilliance into laptops. My boyfriend sat beside me, staring into his coffee like it had personally betrayed him. He didn't interrupt her. That was the first cut. She smiled when she said it. Practice. Gentle. The smile of someone who had spent years learning how to sound benevolent while dismantling others. I nodded. Because that's what you do when someone misjudges you. Inside, something old and disciplined lifted its head. Not anger. Calculation. She leaned closer, lowering her voice. He needs someone who can keep up. I watched her fingers ink-stained, precise. The hands of a doctoral candidate who believed the world rewarded intellect alone. I memorized everything. Her cadence. Her confidence. The way she assumed I would shrink. I didn't. I paid for my drink. Stood. Left them there. Outside, the glass reflected my face back at me. Calm. Blank. Untouched. That was the moment I decided the week would end differently for her. She'd been orbiting our relationship for months. My boyfriend called her his best friend. I called her a variable. She knew his schedule better than I did. Finished his sentences. Touched his arm when she laughed, always just long enough to register. Emotional intimacy dressed up as friendship. Plausible deniability stitched into every interaction. I told myself I was imagining it. That insecurity was louder than truth. But then there were the emails she accidentally CC'd me on. Research proposals where my boyfriend's ideas appeared under her name. Conference submissions listing him as informal contributor. Invisible labor. Stolen credit. And beneath it all, the tone. The quiet contempt she saved for me. Little comments about my clothes. My background. The way I spoke. "You're very earnest," she once said. Like it was a diagnosis. The betrayal wasn't romantic. Not yet. It was worse. She was using him. And she was erasing me. I felt the shift, then the slow internal realignment. The part of me that stops hoping and starts measuring. I didn't confront her. Didn't warn him. I observed. People mistake silence for weakness. They forget it's also how predators listen. I started small. Public records. Academic forums. Archived drafts. Patterns surfaced quickly. Her dissertation timeline didn't match her output. Sections appeared fully formed, with stylistic fingerprints that weren't hers. My boyfriend's, actually. He wrote in clean, restrained prose. She wrote like she was compensating. I checked submission dates. Metadata. Revision histories. Then I watched. I watched her ask him questions she already knew the answers to. Watched her praise him just enough to keep him offering more. Emotional manipulation refined into an art form. At home, I said nothing. Made dinner. Asked about his day. Inside, I cataloged. I found an ethics clause buried in her department's handbook. Collaborative work required disclosure. Attribution. Consent. She had none. By Thursday, I had screenshots. Timestamps. Comparative analyses. Not accusations, evidence. I slept well that week. Clarity does that. I invited her to meet me alone. Neutral ground. The same cafe. She arrived confident, curious, slightly amused. I slid my phone across the table. "Before you say anything," I said softly, "read." Her face changed in increments. Confusion. Recognition. Fear. She looked up. This is a misunderstanding. I nodded. That's what investigations are for. I showed her the draft comparisons. The ethics policy. The email where she'd admitted casually that she preferred my boyfriend uncredited. Her hands trembled. Mine didn't. You're going to ruin me, she whispered. I corrected her. No. You did. Silence stretched between us, heavy and absolute. I didn't report her. Not directly. I forwarded everything anonymously to the review committee overseeing her funding. Included a polite note. Neutral language. No emotion. Then I told my boyfriend the truth. Showed him how his loyalty had been harvested. He broke. Not loudly. Just enough to be real. By Monday, her supervisor requested a meeting. By Wednesday, her funding was frozen pending review. Conferences withdrew invitations. Quietly. Efficiently. Academic exile doesn't look dramatic. It looks like doors closing without explanation. She texted me once. Why are you doing this? I didn't respond. Power doesn't explain itself. I left my boyfriend a week later. Not out of rage. Out of clarity. He hadn't protected me. He hadn't seen me. And I no longer needed to be seen by him. As for her, her career stalled in the way only truth can cause. Slowly. Permanently. Sometimes I think about that word she used. Sophisticated. I suppose she was right. Because sophistication isn't volume. It's precision. And I learned a long time ago how to end things without ever raising my voice.